Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. So today I have an updated Shaddoll deck profile for you guys. This deck is pretty budget. I play budget decks. This is a budget channel, so pretty much all the decks that I do on this channel will be budget. So a budget deck is essentially a deck that is capable of interrupting your opponent but still being competitive enough to actually, duel. So I've made this deck with some tech cards added to the deck to interrupt my opponent and make it so hard for them to go into their full combos and all of that awesome stuff to prevent them from actually winning. I have been testing this deck on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro and also in real life. The deck has performed really well, and that is why I'm making a video showing you guys how this deck is. So without further ado, let's go into the deck profile. Okay, so starting off with the monster, we have Shaddoll Wendy. Wendy is the special summoner of the deck. If she's flip face up, she can special summon one Shaddoll monster from your deck in face down or face up defense position. Also, if it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon one Shaddoll monster from your deck in face down defense position. Next, we have a triple Schemata. Shaddoll Schemata is the Foolish Burial of the deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can send any Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard. Also, if it's flip face up, you can destroy one monster card on the field. Then I play double Ariel. Ariel is the DD Crow in the deck. If she's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can banish 3 cards from either player's graveyard. Also, if it's flip face up, you can special summon one Shaddoll monster from your remove from play zone. I play one Dragon because Dragon is back for removal, one Beast for extra draw power, one Hedgehog for searching out my Shaddoll spells and also monster card from my deck, Falco, which is one of the best Shaddoll monsters in the deck. Shaddoll Falco, if it's set face down, flip face up, you can special summon any Shaddoll monster from your graveyard. If it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon it in face down defense position. This is just so disruptive. I mean, you can get any of these cards, set it face down, activate its effect. It's pretty broken. So this is all the Shaddoll monsters that I use in the deck. I think this ratio is pretty good. I've not tried out the new Shadolls. I think the old ones work pretty well, and so I'm just using the old ones. Moving on to the non-Shaddoll monsters, I use one Dino Wrestler Pankratops because it's a very broken card. A good ability, special summons, destroy one, it's 2600, so yeah, I have to play that one. I'll play 2 Performage monsters, which is 1 Damage Juggler and 1 Trick Clone. This is light targets for my Shaddoll Fusion, and also, this card special summons himself, and this one, searches this one, so it's a good extender to add more cards to my hand. I play 1 Mathematician. Mathematician is a good starter. Normal summon, send 1 level 4 or lower monster from my deck to my graveyard, giving me the ability to send Schemata. Schemata send Wendy. Wendy special summons 1 in face down defense. I use 1 Star Destroyer. This is also a light target for my Shaddoll Fusion. It is a good Kaiju card to get over other monsters on my opponent's side of the field if I can't destroy him. So this card is really good. And for the last card, the good tech card, the good card that I added to the deck, 1 ELDLICH, the Golden Lord. Now, Golden Lord is another light target for my Shaddoll Fusion to summon Construct. If this card is in the graveyard, I can special summon it. My deck is a trap Shaddoll, so I have a ton of traps. And most of the time, I'm not going to be using all my trap cards, so I can remove those trap cards to actually special summon this card. It gets 1,000 extra attack points. I can send this card to my graveyard with a card from my hand to, destroy a card, remove a card on the field. So I think Golden Lord is a good card to add to the deck. It's 3,500. It comes back over and over again. So yeah, I think this card is pretty cool. Moving on to the spell cards in the deck, I use triple Shaddoll Fusion. This is a good going second card, the best going second card in the deck, maybe. Yeah, so it gives me the ability to send Shaddoll pieces, materials from my deck to my graveyard, and when I do that, I can activate their effect plus getting a Shaddoll Fusion on my side of the field. Broken card. 2 Shaddoll Fusion. This allows me to fusion summon in my opponent's turn because it's a quick play spell card. Very cool card. Triple Super Poly because Super Poly is Super Poly and Shadolls need Super Poly to disrupt their opponent, take their monsters, make awesome cards. So yeah, I use triple Super Poly. 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Call by the Grave. And the last spell card that I use in the deck is a tech card, mask change 2. Now my deck consists of a bunch of dark monsters, and using mask change I can go for Dark Claw. Dark Claw is a very very disruptive card. This card is pretty cool. If I have it on the field, all my opponent cards are sent to the graveyard or removed from play instead. So having Dark Claw on the field is a very very disruptive card, and budget decks are supposed to be disruptive. These are all the spell cards that I use in the deck. Moving on to the trap, my defense, my gatekeepers, I use triple Sinister Shadow Game. This card is a good card. If I start a duel and I have no monsters, this card gets me monsters and also flips up my face down shaddolls on the field to give me cards. One Shaddall Incarnation. This is like a monster reborn of the deck. Also, I can remove it plus another Shaddall card to flip one Shaddall from on my side of the field in face up defense or face down defense. I play triple Torrential Tribute because why not play Torrential Tribute? It triggers my Shaddolls effect and also destroy my opponent cards. One Dogmatika Punishment. I was running 2, but the fact that I'm not able to special summon for a turn and a half is really bad. So I just use 1. The 1 is good. I can send to my graveyard. My App Cologne, and App Cologne triggers to add a Shaddolls card to my deck to my hand, then send 1 card to the graveyard. So it's a pretty cool card. It gets me into my cards that I need to, stop my opponent from doing what they want to do. And finally, for the trap cards, I played 3 Dinomiscus, pretty cool card. Banishes 1 face-up card on the field, and I get to discard 1 card, which triggers that card's effect. So these are all the trap cards that I use in the deck. They are pretty cheap, and they do stop your opponents from doing what they want to do. So moving on to the extra deck, I use a triple El Shaddoll Construct because it's one of the best Shaddoll fusion card. It's very broken, destroys a monster, special summon monster in the damage step, which is, destroys a special summon monster if it attacks it. I use double El Shaddoll Winda. Winda is the floodgate for the deck. Each player can special summon 1 monster per turn. I use 2 App Cologne. App Cologne is a good searcher. Dogmatika Punishment works really good with it. It negates my opponent's monster's effect, which is pretty broken. I play 1 Shikanaga, also a good card. I really like its effect. It also helps me to, go into combos because it allows me to discard from my hand. I play 2 Starving Venom. These are the targets for my Super Poly, and also 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp. So a lot of you guys might be wondering why I use double Venom and also a Mud Dragon. There have been a lot of times that I've been dueling where I have Super Poly and they have monsters that I could Super Poly off into a Venom, but I couldn't do it because I've already used the Venom, and that is not really cool. So adding 2 of them and a Mud Dragon allows me to have more options or more times when I'm able to use Super Poly. And the last fusion monster that I use in the deck is Mask Hero Dark Claw. As I said before, Dark Claw is a very disruptive card. Remove my opponent's cards from when they're sent to the graveyard. Pretty cool card. Easy to come out in the deck, and yeah, it's a very cool card. I play 1 Redoer and 1 Abyss Dweller, and finally 1 Topology Zoroboros. So that's my deck, guys. That's my entire deck right now. It works very well. I like it. It can be used. There are some cards that I took out. I'm going to show you guys. So I took out my Cosmic Cyclones. They're in my side deck. Shaddoll Incarnation, Dogmatika Punishment, and Shaddoll Core. These are some cards that I took out from the last build. I think this build worked a lot better with the addition of the Golden Lord. Golden Lord is a very broken card. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure that you subscribe to the channel with post notification turned on. And I will see you guys in the next video.